Welcome to part 2 to my reaction to Power Windows from Rush. So I'm going to do the part 1 videos individually so that they're easier to find, a little more kind of just intuitive so you can find the tracks that you want. But I'm going to break down all of the part 2s kind of in this video. Yeah, just that way I don't have a bunch of kind of shorter videos. And they can all just come here and then you can find whatever you're looking for in this video. So, track 1, The Big Money. I know I say this every time because I go a lot of times, there's pretty substantial gaps between the albums sometimes. The way that I'll, react to them, I'll get into it, I'll do an album, and then I end up getting really busy. Life happens, studios get moved, job happens, schedules change, things just, whatever. But, I love this era of Rush, and I know I said that on probably every track on Grace Under Pressure. I love the synth sound. I like the more, let's call it kind of mainstream sound, I guess. The song structure, I just love it. It's an easier listening style. It's still very uniquely Rush. And something that stood out to me, and maybe it's because I got a new bass. So I've been playing a lot of bass and paying more attention to, the bass when I listen to songs. So Geddy Lee is just an absolute master. And the way that he does these runs, these kind of descending runs that he does, and especially, all throughout this song, it's just really... the proficiency on all of them, all of them have insane proficiency on their instruments. And I know people go crazy for Neil, and I'm not at all taking away from just the absolute master that he is. And I love his drumming. I love listening to it. It's insane. I don't have the same perspective on that because I'm not a drummer. So for me, the single musician in this band that stands out the most is Geddy Lee. Because just the way that he plays his instrument is totally different than a lot of guys do. He's not just sitting there holding down the rhythm section. He is the rhythm section. He's not just kind of taking up the background. He's filling all that space. He's filling the low end. He's filling the low mids. And, he does it so well. It doesn't feel like there's anything missing. And again, I love the synths. I love when you got these, these synth chords going and stuff, and then Alex is back there, whether it's the arpeggios or the quick strummed chords with the chorus and his effects that he does and stuff. Really, really cool. Great song to start an album with. Track 2 on the album, Grand Designs. And, I always do this too, where I'm listening to it, I know exactly what I'm hearing and I'm loving it, and I'm like, oh, I got to say something about that. And then the further I get into albums, the more songs I listen to. I'm like, wait, was that this song or the one before that or what? But, the thing about that song is it just kind of goes, not a ton of changes, but they do throw in these like really, really cool breaks that just kind of, they're unexpected, so they catch you off guard, but in a good way. It's like, man, that could have just gone and just kind of been pretty repetitive. They could have done the same thing, maybe, a pretty basic fill. But the whole band will come in and do this like really broken up part and then it picks right back up where you would expect it to be going. And it's just so crisp and flawless. The harmonics in this song, the guitar tone, the solo, just pretty mellow, pretty chill, nothing crazy. Classic Alex Lifeson vibrato, though, on some of those notes. Right around like the 3-minute mark of that song when he was doing that, I was like, yep, this is Alex Lifeson. But the tone is so, it's so smooth, and it's in your face, but, subdued. It's... I think I said that on Grace Under Pressure. It's like, it's not a high gain sound, but it's very present, not in the way that guitar players talk about present, like the presence. It's just, it's mixed well. It's there. You feel it without it being overbearing or overpowering. Man, I just love this era of Rush. I really, really love it. All right, track 3, Manhattan Project. What a killer song, you guys. Starts with those like kind of harmonic, arpeggiated notes, and then it just builds up. Now, I don't know if that bass tone is just strictly from bass or if there's synthesizers, pedals, whatever is going on. But man, that bass in there when it's kind of going down like that is absolutely crushing. I just love the sound of that. You got the strings going, you got all this layering, and you look at the subject matter of like the lyrics, and obviously referencing the atomic bombs and stuff, and all, you guys know what it's about, of course. And it's like, man, how can a song with the subject matter being what it is, how can it be so like, I don't know, just the feeling of it is so, oh man, it's so good. It's so, they're just incredible songwriters. And in the very end of that, Alex has, 5, 6 something notes that he plays at the end. He does so much with so little. Just these couple of notes, perfectly placed, perfect tone, and it just, there's guys who play these, 30-second, 1 minute long, just shred solos, all the technique in the world. There's no feeling. It doesn't stick with you. Something like this, couple notes, that just resonates and it just feels good and it's special. And anyone can just kind of shred, but it takes a special guitar player to know exactly how many notes and what notes and just to get that right feel. And Alex does that pretty well, or pretty much as well as anybody. So I absolutely love that, you guys. Really, really good track. 3 songs in, and they have all been absolute, just killer songs. Love it. All right, track 4 on the album, you guys, Marathon. And up to this point in the album, this is probably my favorite song. And I can't really put a finger on why. I don't know. I think it's a whole combination. So Geddy's playing this like repeating bass line, which is just killer. The drums sound absolutely fantastic. The whole thing has a really big ambient, kind of a cinematic feel to it. There's panning going on. There's lots of layers. Thing about this track, though, is the guitar solo. I've said about Alex Lifeson before, if you didn't know who he was and you listen to a solo like this, you might be like, bro, this guy's got to get with the program, because some of the timing, it's not traditional. It's not standard. It's not the way that people would normally play, like, their phrasing and stuff. It's different. It's kind of choppy. It's a little bit broken up, but it sounds really, really good. It fits the feel of the song. And that's the thing, is I've looked for reasons to be like, am I just saying this because it's Alex Lifeson, or am I saying it because it's actually good? And I don't think you can really separate the two. If it's Alex Lifeson, it's pretty freaking good. And it's like listening to something like this, I'm like, well, it sounds off. Does that mean and I'm just gonna okay it because it's Alex? No, first of all, I don't need to okay it, right? That's not my job. But it works. It fits the song. It's different. It's inspiring. The guitar tone, the feel of that solo, Steve Vai-esque in a way. I don't know if that makes sense to anyone else, but to me, it does. Just the feel for it, and something else, on this rhythm stuff, in this one, it was a solo that Alex does a lot of harmonics. Like, he's just really, really good at these. They're subtle pinch harmonics, kind of. So he's like muting the note in a little way, but also getting the harmonic out of it, which, by the way, to do it consistently is or can be a little bit difficult. You know, a lot of people can really dig in and get these low end, you know, Zach Wild kind of squawks and that sort of stuff. But to be able to do it just like if someone was just playing a scale, right, and they're trying to get the harmonic on every note, a lot of guys can't do that because they're so used to just being able to do it in one position. They know exactly where to hit. The thing is, if you change the note you're playing, you have to change your pick attack. So it just comes from a lot of practice running scales, and just, you know, moving your finger and stuff around while you're doing that. And it's something that Alex does really well, but he does it so like subtly, and it's really subdued, so it doesn't stand out so much as a lot of guys, partially because he doesn't have the gain to make everyone just kind of dig in and have this really, you know, harsh, aggressive squawk. It comes out more as a muted note, but what that harmonic does is it allows it to chime, and that's something that he does really well that I absolutely love, and I think that that is something that added to this song to make it, to this point, my favorite track on the album. Track 5 on the album, you guys, Territories. What a song. It starts out, it's got this kind of Middle Eastern, African, little bit of, you know, kind of jungle-y vibes with the drums and stuff, but then you get all these different sounds that are going on. Very foreign sounding, and then it comes in so big. Alex comes in with this guitar tone out of nowhere that is just shocking. Got the harmonics going, but he's got more gain on it this time, so it stands out more. Just cuts through the mix, and then finishes off with these really big chords, and it's like, dude, what in the world? Literally just caught me off guard, like, what the heck did I just hear? What happened? And then the bass tone throughout that track, said it at the beginning of part 1, but, or at the end of part 1, the mids cut through, and they're really kind of slappy in a way. They kind of punch through, but then the lows manage to still be so low. It's hard to get that kind of tone where the mids on the bass cut through really good and got a good, you know, kind of a trebly sound to them, but while still keeping the lows sounding really bassy and kind of thunderous. And Geddy Lee's kind of nailed that tone, and a lot of it is obviously playing style, different techniques, stuff like that. And then the drums on this song, all over the place. You know, these little tiny toms and stuff going crazy through the whole song. Really killer. Again, you know, through 5 tracks, and we are yet to experience a single bad piece of music. Not saying they're all my favorite songs in the world, but, you know, some albums from some bands just have songs that's just like, I don't really want to listen to this. It's not really enjoyable. It's just kind of out there. This, all cohesive and all very, very enjoyable to listen to. Track 6, Middletown Dreams. A perfect song, in my opinion. Now, I say perfect song to a lot of people about a lot of different styles of music. So I'm not saying this is the only song I ever want to listen to, because I enjoy a vast variety of music. But it's one of those songs that I would put in my perfect songs playlist, in the sense that it's just moving. You can just sit there and enjoy the song, and just, you feel something, or at least I do. And I know it's different for everyone. Everyone's got different music opinions and tastes, but for me, on this album, to this point, this track is perfect. It's the layering, it's the moments of simplicity, it's the moments of complexity, it's the melodies, it's the production, it's the feel, it's, you know, the tempo, everything about it just resonates with me. And, you know, the solo, just, oh man, I can't believe, like, I thought, and I love Grace Under Pressure. It is a good album. There are a few tracks on that album that I feel like don't particularly fit, and I'm pretty sure I said that when I listened to the whole thing. This album is incredibly cohesive, and you just listen through, nothing feels out of place. Everything feels well thought out and perfectly punched in together to make a very cohesive album. And with only 2 tracks left, I'm absolutely blown away at this, you guys. That song, absolutely incredible. Loved it. Hands down my favorite track on the album to this point. Track 7, you guys, a motion detector. Sounded like I said a motion detector. It's emotion detector. And another solid track, not as crazy or out there. Doesn't feel like a filler track, so I'm not going to say that. Just doesn't, to me at least, have as much feeling as some of these other tracks, but a very, very solid track. Again, it's not bad. It's just, and it's just the fact that you can do, to this point, 7 tracks in a row that are so good. And the feeling, so the beginning of this track, by the way, absolutely love that sound. I love synthwave and I love AOR, and that was like a perfect kind of combination. Felt like a blend of both of those styles. And then it became very distinctly Rush when you get Geddy Lee's signature singing style over it. So overall, good track. Like the guitar solo, nothing too crazy. I will say something Alex does that a lot of guys don't. He uses big intervals. So instead of just playing, the scale kind of linearly like a lot of people do, he'll hop back and forth between notes. So he's doing a lot of fourths, fifths, and things like that. So not massive intervals, but he's not just doing, seconds, thirds like people do a lot. So those, like at the beginning there, these intervals to start and stuff, it's a cool sound. I like that he does that. It breaks it up and it makes it sound less scaly and more music-y, if that makes sense. But that's something that he does well. And at the end of the solo, he does do some of these runs that are just, you can hear the scale in there. But yeah, another solid song, you guys. All right, guys, the 8th and final track on the album, Mystic Rhythms. I want to keep saying Mystic Dreams, but that's a John Petrucci guitar paint job, I think. It's a color shifting paint job, the one that I wish I could have afforded, but I ended up with Stealth Black. Anyway, Mystic Rhythms. Not a ton to say about this song. After listening to 8 songs now, I'm like, I'm just going to start repeating myself. And again, it's like, man, was that this song or another song that I was singing that one particular part? But, just the album on a whole, very good. Said it at the end of part 1 for this song, as I did like a full album kind of breakdown a little bit. So I'll try not to repeat myself too much, but just very consistent, a very good feel. I like how they picked the style, they rolled with it, and they punched out a very, very solid album. Their production is only going up. It's incredible. Their songwriting is getting better. Everything is just absolutely perfect on this. I like the big swells. I like the synths. I like the arpeggiated chords. I like the bass sound. Everything about it, pure, just musical ecstasy. I love this, and I'm sticking to it. Middletown Dreams, my favorite song on the album. The way it made me feel. But Manhattan Project, fantastic. Actually, I'm just going to start listing every song and saying fantastic. So let's just say the whole album, amazing. I think Rush just gets better with age. And the fact that this is only 1985, when this album came out, let's see. Let me pull up my trusty little, the end of 1985. So they had so much more stuff after this and quite a bit before this. So I'm excited to keep seeing how they progress. because I have loved their progression. It was no secret at the beginning that I said, hey, I love this stuff. They're all incredibly talented, but the style is not necessarily my favorite. A lot of the 70s rock stuff, and then they get more into this fantasy, longer stuff, and I can appreciate everything for what it is. And 2112, it's like, yeah, this is absolutely incredible. But it's been no secret that the shorter, kind of more traditional songs have been something that I've really gravitated towards. And yeah, that feeling and opinion has not changed at all. And so because of that, I absolutely, sorry, my computer's freaking out over here. I absolutely love this album. So that's about going to be it, you guys. Glad that I got in here, listened through this in just one go, because it was a heck of a lot of fun. And to hear the songs back to back with not even a day or two or whatever in between is a really good way to listen, because I can enjoy the album for what it is, and I can hear these little nuances more. So thank you for watching this video, you guys. If you enjoyed my reaction to this whole album, please leave a like, leave a comment, please subscribe if you would, and I will see you guys for the next one. Thank you so much for watching. See you guys later.